Alright guys, I'm going to try to keep this review pretty short and sweet, keep it under 5 minutes. I'm up here in my attic, not that you guys really care, but first time recording up here. Just kind of show you a quick, there's my tripod right there. So you can kind of see some guns over there in the corner and some more over there. I don't know, there's guns and bows scattered across my house. And one more thing I want to point out is stink bugs. They're all trying to get out of the house. They came in for the winter and now they're trying to see all that stink bug juice there. Oh, it's so nasty. My mom hates it. But whatever. Yeah, so this is my Strider PT Digi-cam, I believe they call it. Man, this knife is pretty freaking awesome. I gotta tell you guys, I would recommend it to anyone that is willing to spend a little bit extra on their EDC. That's what I'm going to call this knife, perfect EDC. It's not really tactical or any other crap, even though the blade is Digi-camo or whatever. But I don't think it's big enough to be called tactical or battle-worthy and whatnot. Go for the SNG or the SMF, that's what you're looking for. I'd call this one the EDC of Striders. The SNG, it's a good EDC depending on who you are, but I know a lot of you guys out there really enjoy these smaller knives, and that is exactly what this is. I wish I had a Sebenza to compare it to. I'm hoping that I'm going to get one soon, but I do not right now. I believe that the Sebenza, if it starts here, comes out to about there. I think it's about ½ an inch longer, maybe, something like that. Speaking of measurements, I'm just going to get these out of the way. Blade length, total from here to here, 2.75 inches. The cutting edge is 2.25 right there, so the blade 2.75, 2.25, cutting it off right there. Blade steel is S30V. The closed length is 3.75 inches, and the overall length is 6.5 inches. I'll just show you that compared to my hand. I don't have huge hands. I'd actually say I kind of have small to medium, but it fits me perfectly. Fits me like a glove, really. You can see just a little bit of that is sticking out. And oh my gosh, I have to say this has got to be my favorite knife I have ever held in my whole entire life. Nothing compares to it. If you guys have small to medium hands, I would say pick this knife up. The price tag is worth it. If you can find a good deal like I did, then pop on it right away, guys, because I'm going to pretty much assure you that you will love this knife, because, or at least I do, I don't know, but if you guys like those smaller knives and you're willing to spend the money, go ahead and try it out. If you don't want to keep it, that's another awesome thing about Striders, is even if it's a user, you'll probably get, I don't know, 85% of what you spent on it, even if it's dinged up like this one, which isn't too dinged up like my SNG, but yeah, like I said, you'll probably get 85% if it's a user. You can get up to 95% if it's a regular and it's only about a year old or something and it's not a user, just a safe queen that you had. And SNGs aren't meant to be safe queens, I'll put that out right away, unless you have like a custom. But yeah, you might even be able to make more off of the knife, for real. So I paid $150 for this one. I bet I could get $350 out of it. No joke. I could probably get more than the retail price, because these things are so rare if you know anything about Striders. Like, it's ridiculous how rare these are. I looked for a long time to find a Strider PT like this one, and I could not find it with the titanium. And I mean, these were already in limited numbers. Mick Strider came out with some more of these this summer, but nothing like this. He's not doing Digi-cam, I don't believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I would say no more than 1,000 were made in this batch. I think this is about 4 years old, this particular knife. And it was bought off of TNK, True North Knives. Or at least that's what the guy told me that I bought this from. Bull pivot isn't too big. It is a walker lock or a frame lock, and actually Chris Reeve collaborated with I can't remember who, but Chris Reeve actually created the walker lock, or the liner lock. Not liner lock, sorry, the frame lock. Getting mixed up. One complaint about the Striders that I do not like is the pocket clip. I like the pocket clip a lot, but it's just not seated well enough, I do not think, in the titanium, because on my SNG it was very tight when I got it, and within 3 days of me putting it in and taking it out of my pocket, it became loose, very loose. Like, I'm talking, I could just tap it and it would move way over to the end of the blade. And yeah, so that's one complaint about the SNG, or about the Striders. This one hasn't really done that to me yet, but this is going to be more of a safe clean for me. I don't really want to EDC it. I mean, I already have for a little bit, but I'm not going to do any heavy cutting with it or anything. I'm just going to carry it around to show people. Another thing I love about Striders is the spider hole type of oval shape in the blade here, and you have the thumb stud. And I've talked about this before, I think, in my other videos, that the deployment stud is actually not really useful at all on the SNG, but on the PT, as long as yours is like mine, and this is so buttery smooth. Oh my gosh, and look at that early lockup. But where was I? Oh yeah, if yours is like mine on the PT, these are actually functional. If you start the blade start opening the blade with the deployment hole, and then you use the thumb stud, it'll pop open pretty easily. But if you're just trying to use the thumb stud, I'm pushing pretty hard and it's not coming out. Yeah, so you have to start it like that and then pop it open. I'm not doing any like wrist whip outs or whatever you call it, wrist blade opens where you like totally whip your wrist out like that, because that's really bad for the lockup. I can just mess it up and break your knife, so I'm not going to do that on any of mine. I was just showing you a demonstration, but I just open it very slowly when I want to use it. I'm not going to abuse my knives. I will use them depending on what I have in my pocket. Like this thing, I've used the crap out of this. This is just a little China chip away cutlery knife, but yeah, that's my EDC for now. Oh crap, I've gone way over my time that I was gonna say. Oh well, whatever. Weight 2.5 ounces. I would say this is the perfect EDC. That's just my opinion. From what I've seen over the Pair 2 and everything, just the only downer on this PT is the price. And at $325, I'd say it's a little overpriced. I mean, I guess because all the man hours and the fit and finish that they put on them, I guess it just comes out to that much. But I don't agree with the price, but I got mine cheap, so what can you do? But if you have the money to spend, I would say get it, guys. Get it, get it, get it. If you don't like it, keep it for a year or two. Especially if it's the PT, you'll be able to sell it for as much as you have in it, even if it's a user. Because these have very good resale value. Same with the Sabenzas, because there's a cult following for Striders. You guys should know that if you're in the knife world. And there really is. So, once again, closed in my hand. You can barely see it. Other side. This is the flame titanium version. Just kind of show you that really quick. Oh, look at that lockup. So nice and early. And I don't really get the whole idea with the early lockup or anything. I mean, I'd probably say I'd rather have this over a little bit, but I'm not going to bend it. I'm not going to even really mess around with this. After I make this video, I'm probably going to put it in the safe and leave it there until I choose to sell it or trade it for something. But jimping is very functional on this knife. Very functional, even a little bit too functional, I'd say, if that even works. But when you're cutting sometimes and you're being pretty aggressive with it, this will definitely, I mean, I'll put a nice dent in my hand there, and that'll probably slice into your hand if you're doing some serious cutting, or you're moving like this. It hurts just to do that. But this has got to be the most aggressive jimping I've ever seen on a knife. Like, that is so serious, but I like it. Helps me get a good grip on the knife, especially with gloves. And The choil here, finger choil, is also very functional. This really helps me a lot getting the grip, because like this, it's kind of a pain. It's not quite long enough for my hands, but with that choil, it just fits perfectly. Like, this knife was made for my hand. It just feels so awesome. I have to tell you guys that. But and then just the blade's poking out there. You can barely see it coming out of my hand there, and I can just slice stuff. Let's see. I'll just do a quick cut test for you guys. I've gone way over my 5-minute mark. I knew I probably would. This isn't really the right paper, but yeah, it's just old and crappy. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try. It's old paper, guys. I'm not gonna do a cut test with this like I have with my other knives, because it's just too much of a baby to me. I'm gonna baby the crap out of this thing. I'm not even gonna cut anything with it, really. Like I said, gonna put it in the safe after this. So I appreciate you guys watching. Check out some of my other videos. This was Geolemical, or Mikey Freeman is my name. And yep, thanks for watching, guys. Have a awesome day. Paracord.